Hello everyone, welcome back. We are doing an Ixalan draft today. Let's get into our pack here. We do have Primal Amulet as our rare, not something I'm going to take here. We do have Emissary of Sunrise. I really like this card a lot. 2/1 first strike with Explore is excellent. The Speaker is great for Merfolk. 1/2 Scoundrels is very, very aggressive if you want to kind of be black-red. We also have Pirate's Cutlass, which I like a lot, allows you to stay open for pack 1, pick 1. We have Sky March Bloodletter, which I really like that card as well. Queen's Commission if you're looking to do vampires. So for us here, I like the Emissary of Sunrise or 1/2 Scoundrels. I feel like the Emissary is probably a little stronger, but I kind of want to see if we can do maybe a more aggressive deck, maybe some black-red, pirates. So let's go ahead and take the Scoundrels here. It's not the strongest card, but let's just see if we can do kind of aggressive deck. Okay, here we have Bishop Soldier, white card, which I really like. We have Imperial Aerosaur, which I absolutely love this card. 3/3 flyer for 4 is really good in draft. The fact that it jumps a creature and gives it +1/+1 till end of turn just puts this over the top. Deadeye Tormentor for black, not something I want to pick up at this time. We are seeing some Merfolk creatures here, but I really like the Aerosaur. I think this card is just very strong. I think it's just going to be a stronger power level than all these other cards in the pack, so we're going to go ahead and take that. Okay, here we have Fiery Cannonade, which is a strong red card, especially in the black-red Pirates deck. We have Rallying Roar, which is a decent combat trick. Sheltering Light, I probably like a little more than Rallying Roar. Steadfast Armasaur is okay. A 2/3 for 4 isn't fantastic, but its ability is relevant. We have Pterodon Knight and Vampire Zeal for the Vampire deck. For me, I kind of like Pterodon Knight here. We already have an Imperial Aerosaur. This is a white creature. It does synergize with the Aerosaur. Fiery Cannonade can be very underwhelming, especially if you're playing against pirates. So I think here I'm going to go ahead and take the Pterodon Knight to go with the Aerosaur. I like both of these cards. Okay, now here we have Bishop Soldier, which is probably going to be the pick, just because we have 2 strong white cards already. Bishop Soldier I love, it's just where you want to be on turn 2. On the rarest of Skin Shifter, I'm not particularly in love with this card. The fact that it's 3 for an 0/1, that only copies creatures when it's attacking, not very strong. Heartless Pillage, this is a later pick, just kind of an add-in. Other strong cards in the pack. Jade Guardian, is okay if we were picking up all those Merfolks. Prosperous Pirates is okay. 3/4 for 5 is an okay body. It's good if you're trying to splash. But for us here, I like Bishop Soldier. We're definitely going to go ahead and take that card. Let's go ahead and sort this here. Okay, so in this pack we have got a couple of options. Dark Nourishment is a decent removal spell. Ruthless Knave, I do like that card as well. It's a decent 3-drop. It'll let you make some treasure tokens, which if you're trying to splash is a good ability. I think that I want to take Dark Nourishment here. I feel like this is just a little bit stronger than Ruthless Knave, and I don't want to miss out on removal. We haven't really seen much of anything so far, so I want to go ahead and take Dark Nourishment here. I like having a few good pieces of removal in the deck. Okay, now here we have Seeker Squire, Grim Captain's Call. Grim Captain's pretty interesting. Haven't seen anybody really take advantage of being able to return all the creatures at once. Another speaker here, so someone can definitely be in blue-green Merfolk. I really like Fathom Fleet Firebrand. It's kind of strange it's just so late in the pack, but for us, Seeker Squire is an excellent card. A 2-drop that can explore. I like that as well. Okay, Boneyard Parlay, Queen's Commission, Legion's Judgment. Legion's Judgment I'm not interested in right now. I feel like this card's really easy to pick up later. So I think it's between Queen's Commission, which was effectively a 3-drop, or Boneyard Parlay. Boneyard Parlay is slow, but I have played with this card, and it's not as competitive, but it is fun, and when you get to cast it, it actually does impact the board pretty well. All we're giving up is Queen's Commission. I'm going to go ahead and take the parlay. Okay, here we have Legion's Judgment, Demystify, really nothing else in our color, so this is a good opportunity to pick up a Judgment for the sideboard. Okay, and here's a Queen's Commission, a lot of Primal Amulets. Here's a Queen's Commission. I'm happy to get that card. Go ahead and add this to our picks. Okay, everyone. Looks like we missed a pick there. We got a Rile. We did get the Queen's Commission. I got Sheltering Light out of this pack. We're going to go ahead and take the Pillage from here. This could be a decent card for sideboard. Take the Altasaur. We'll let them have that. Okay. Sheltering Light I do like. It's actually a decent combat trick. Hopefully we don't have any more problems with Moto here, so we can continue our draft. Things are starting pretty well. We've got some good 3-drops. Wow. Okay. This is an extremely strong pack. Legion's Landing I like. This is a fun card. Lets you crank out vampire creatures. Inspiring Cleric is an excellent 3-drop. Stormfleet Arsonist is a strong red card. The raid ability, have your opponent sacrifice. Contract Killing is excellent removal. Firebrand is a great 2-drop. We've got Fire Cannon Blast as a 3 calls removal spell. Headstrong Brood I've always liked in the pirate deck, a 3/3 menace. And then Bloodletter is good as well. This is a really, really good pack. So for us here, do we want to pick up a piece of removal? We could take Contract Killing and just have a solid piece of removal. We could take the Bloodletter. We have another 3-drop. That is a vampire. We don't have a ton of vampires yet, but it is a decent 3-drop 2/2 with a little bit of a life swing there. Or we could take Legion's Landing. Let's see here. I kind of like Legion's Landing, especially since we have cards like Queen Commission. I feel like we can flip this card a little easier. So we're going to take that one. Okay, so here, this is another decent pack. We have Vanquish the Weak, Fathom Fleet Captain. We have Duskborn Sky Marcher, which is good if you're playing pirates, or excuse me, vampires. Pirate's Cutlass is just strong. Hearthstopper's medium, but a good pickup later. So I think the pick is either between Vanquish the Weak or the Fathom Fleet Captain. For pirates, we have just one pirate so far. Kind of a tough pick. We don't have a lot of pirates, so the Fathom Fleet isn't as strong. Maybe we should just take the Vanquish the Weak here, since this guy's probably going to be a 2/1 for 2 most of the time. But with that said, I do like 2-drops. The fact that he has Menace, I think I'm going to go ahead and take him here. That might be the wrong pick, but I want to make sure we have enough good 2-drops for our deck. Okay, and then we have this pack here. There's only 2 cards in it really for us. Maybe the Sleek Schooner. I'm not in love with Encampment Keeper, March of the Drown. Again, we don't have a lot of pirates. This doesn't do a lot. Good blue cards here. I like the Daring Saboteur. It's not a bad 2-drop. Run Aground's okay. The Pyromancer is decent for red. The Imperialist is really good for blue. But for us, I think we're just going to take the Schooner, just because again we're making some tokens here, and this might actually be a decent 3-drop. Okay, we have Conquistador. We have another Vanquish the Weak. We have Desperate Castaways. For us here, we're going to go take Vanquish the Weak. I'm not going to give up a second one of these. Conquistador, we're not playing vampires. I'm not in love with this card. Castaway, we're not really making any kind of artifacts. We're not making any treasure tokens, so this is not really an aggressive card for our deck. We'll take Vanquish the Weak. Good removal spell. Growing Rights, wow. So we have a Fathom Fleet Cutthroat here, or Slash of Talons. The Cutthroat has always been kind of underwhelming. It's basically a Hill Giant with a potential upside, which again, we are playing with some token cards, so maybe it's good enough for our deck. With that said, we don't have a ton of creatures. We already have a couple combat tricks, so I don't think I want to take Slash of Talons. Let's take the Cutthroat. Just don't want to end up with not enough playable creatures. Okay, so here we have Duress, March of the Drowned, Mark of the Vampire, and Skyblade of the Legion. Skyblade is definitely stronger in a vampire deck. When you have the Deacon, where you can give him power later in the game. Mark of the Vampire, I do actually like pretty well, especially since we have a couple of flyers here. So I feel like the Skyblade is just not as strong in our deck, so I'm just going to take the mark here. Okay, so here we have Call to the Feast or Vampire Zeal. We're definitely taking Call to the Feast. This is an excellent payoff card for being black-white. Making 3/1/1, life linkers is very, very strong. And again, our deck wants some life linkers to kind of turn out some of these other cards we have, like the Cutthroat. Let's go ahead and pick this, and the Schooner as well. Okay, so it looks like our Ruthless Knave came around, which is perfect. We do need we need a couple more 3-drops. I'm going to take it over the Hoarder. We already have 4 2-drops, which are decent 2-drops. So I want to take the Knave. He's a pirate as well, so that does also help us out with the Fathom Fleet, and he's a decent 3-drop. Here, wow, I'm really surprised that the Bloodletter came around. A lot of good red cards. It doesn't appear that anyone, I guess no one's playing red in this draft, because there's really no reason for all 3 of these cards to still be in the pack if they are. But we're going to take the Bloodletter, excellent 3-drop, good pickup for us. Now here we have Slash of Talons or Heartstopper. Raider's Wake is not probably where we want to be with this deck. So for removal, so far we have Vanquish the Weak, Dark Nourishment, and that's kind of our removal. So we could take Heartstopper, but I think I want to take Slash of Talons. I just want to make sure we have enough interaction spells, enough removal. Here, Encampment Keeper, maybe. I don't think so. I think we'll just take Combo Wings for the board. You never know, we might actually need that card. Plunder. Okay. So our deck's looking pretty good. Need some more creatures. We have a lot of spells. Definitely want a couple more, 1 or 2 more 2-drops. Same thing for our 3-drops. And wouldn't mind something for late game here. A Deacon would be good, especially with all of our Vampire tokens. But we'll see what we get in our last pack. Okay, so we have Access of Mortality. This is kind of like a commander card, nothing we're going to really play with here. Raging Swordtooth is excellent. Raging Raptors is good. This is a great pack for red-green. For us, all we have is Slash of Talons, Pirate's Cutlass. We already have a Slash of Talons. I like Pirate's Cutlass. We do have a few Pirates, and this is great to throw on a flyer or the lifelink tokens. So this is a good card for our deck. We'll go ahead and take that. Got an Air Elemental here. Okay. So here, cards worth consideration: Paladin of the Bloodstain, and then Pious Interdiction. A little bit of a harder pick. We already do have a few 4-drops. I like the Aerosaur, the Pterodon Knight. Pterodon Knight is not as great in our deck right now. It essentially is a Hill Giant, so it is worth cutting, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Pious Interdiction. This is a good piece of removal. Just deals with just about everything. And maybe we'll table the Paladin of the Bloodstain. Okay, we're getting paid off in this last pack. Well, there's Raptor Companion, which is a decent 2-drop. Hello everyone. We got booted out of Magic Online again. We didn't get to pick our Contract Killing. It looks like we've got a whole bunch of red cards in our deck now. This is very disappointing. I really don't know what's going on with Magic Online today. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what have we got in this pack here? For us, there's a Raptor Companion. I'm going to go ahead and select that in case we get booted out again. Really nothing else for our deck here. Just trying to clean up the picks. Everything got kind of dumped back into our deck. Okay, where are we here? Okay, I think that's where we were at. Somewhere like that. So we're going to take Raptor's Companion. See if we can keep from getting booted out the last few picks. Rowdy Crew. There is no one playing red at this table. That's just such a good card. Okay, for us here, we can take Blightkeeper. We can take Legion Conquistador. We don't have any other Conquistadors, so I'm really not interested in that. Or we can take Sunrise Seeker. We really don't have anything at the top of our curve. This isn't exactly what you want at the top of your curve, but I don't think I'm going to take a Blightkeeper here. Yeah, I think I would just rather take the Seeker. If I'm going to play either one of these, it's probably going to be the bigger creature. And here's a whole pack of red with a second Conquistador. I have no idea what's going on at the table. No one is playing red today. I'm not going to play the Conquistador. We'll just take a Lightning Crew here. Okay. More good red cards. You know, we got Thrasher Raptors. Here for us, they're really the only thing we have is the Pterodon Knight, which isn't great for our deck, but we do have a Raptor Companion and the Imperial Aerosaur, so this might be good enough. Okay, nothing came around for us here. We'll just take the Mythic. This time we will go ahead and take a Blight Keeper. I don't see myself ever playing 2 Sunrise Seekers. Okay, take the Lancer. Nothing for us here. Okay, so a little disappointing. We missed a couple picks. We should definitely have had a Contract Killing for this deck. So very, very disappointed about that. Didn't see any Deacons, which would have been really, really good for this deck. We have Legion's Landing, we have Queen's Commission, we have Call of the Feast, we definitely have some token makers, which would have really just gone great with that card. But nothing we can do about that now. We've got our deck here. We'll do a little tweaking, take a look at what's going to be part of our sideboard and what's going to make it in the deck. Okay, so this is 21 cards right here. We want to go ahead and take a look. Right now we have 10 creatures, but we do have Legion's Landing, we have Queen Commission, and Call to the Feast. So we're essentially around 13 creatures here. We do have decent removal. And kind of our only real finisher is Boneyard Parlay. Got a little flying, a little bit of flying there. So I guess the question is, what do we want to put in? We could put a Legion's Judgment in, but we have decent removal. I really don't want to do that. Heartless Pillage isn't terrible for this deck. We only have three drops, so this might be decent because I think we're more likely to end up with 2 drops in our opening hand and then have the Pillage to follow up our 2-drop in the event we don't hit a 3-drop. You know, kind of out tempo our opponent there. So this might make it. And Costly Plunder also is worth noting. That this card does allow you to sack a creature and draw a couple cards. We do have certainly several ways to make small token creatures, so that card's not terrible. Anything else worth considering for the deck? You know, we did take a Sunrise Seeker. It's a larger card. There's another Pterodon Knight. So these are kind of the cards we can consider here. We'll take 2 of these. I think we will take the Pterodon Knight just to keep our curve a little lower. And although unlikely, we do have a couple of dinos. This is more likely just going to be a Hill Giant most games. And then the Heartless Pillage, I do like this as well. So it looks like we're going to be pretty low on the curve. I guess the question is, do we want to keep the Boneyard Parlay in and just throw the Sunrise Seeker? No, I like the Boneyard Parlay. If the match goes long, we do have a lot of faster creatures and tokens. We can kind of get in there early, and if it gets drug out, we do have something to kind of sort of shore up the game later. And then we do have a few removal spells. Still bummed out we didn't get the Contract Killing when we got booted out. That would have been great with Boneyard Parlay. You want cards that are going to put their creatures in the graveyard. So I think this is going to be our deck. Yep, this is going to be our deck for now. Costly Plunder we'll keep in the sideboard. We don't have a ton of, well, we have a decent amount of token making, but we'll keep it in the sideboard. If our opponent's playing a lot of removal, we'll bring that in. Let's go ahead and add some land. I think we're going to go ahead and just do probably more white sources. No, I think we'll go ahead and just go ahead and do 9 black, 8 white sources. Okay. Because our early white cards are like Sheltering Light, Slash of Talons. We're not necessarily going to be playing these on turn 1, turn 2. These are probably going to be turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Legion's Landing, you know, we definitely want to play that turn 1 if we do have it in our opening hand. But we do have more black spells that we want to hit earlier in the game. So it's probably best to make sure we have access to the black mana. So we're going to go ahead and save our deck. And we will see everyone in round 1. Hello everyone, welcome back. We're in game 1 here. Our opponent won the die roll. Well, our opening hand isn't isn't amazing. We are on the draw. We do have Legion's Landing on turn 1. We have a combat trick, Boneyard Parlays. We're ages from playing that, but I'll go ahead and keep this. We do have a turn 1 play, and we're on the draw, so see if we'll draw into some action here. We have plenty of 2 drops, plenty of 3 drops. Okay, so our opponent is blue, coming right out of the gates with a flyer here. This is probably a pirate deck. Okay, good. Sky March Bloodletter is a good draw. Go ahead and play Legion's Landing. Get our 1/1. Okay, so the Siren, basically they can sack this and counter any spell that targets a creature they control or themselves. Okay. So we didn't draw a 2-drop, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and send 1, and if they want to trade, that's completely fine. We would actually be happy to trade for their Storm Tamer. Okay. Okay, well, that's a fine trade. That kind of turns on our removal spells if we draw into any. Our opponent may just not have a lot of action. I wanted to clear the board off there. Okay, and they are casting a pirate spell. Siren Lookout. Okay, a fine card. I'm going to hit a land. No, they revealed a Stormfleet Spy. Okay, so for raid triggers, I can draw a card. Okay, here we're definitely just going to play the Bloodletter. And just ship it back to our opponent. We do have Pirate's Cutlass. Cutlass on the Bloodletter is pretty strong. And we don't mind taking a few hits here. Okay, what is our opponent casting? Oh, okay, so they're just going to go ahead and get their card this turn. See, probably trying to get their land drop. They did get it. All right, now for us here, we have Fathom Fleet. I'm going to go ahead and send our 2 in. We have Fathom Fleet. We're not going to hold out for any tricks, try to activate the ability. This is going to be just fine as a Hill Giant. And it puts us 1 step closer to actually turning on the Legion's Landing, which is not a bad plan to have here. Again here, I'm going to go ahead and take the 4. They obviously have a combat trick. I'm assuming it's probably Skullduggery. I want to get Legion's Landing turned on. Plus we have Sheltering Light and Pirate's Cutlass. I really don't want to make any blocks until we can have our white mana up for Sheltering Light. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and attack first. See what our opponent has here. I don't think I want to play the Pirate's Cutlass this turn. I'd really get the Ruthless Knave out, and then hold up Sheltering Light for this attack step or for our defense step if we need it. Okay, our opponent's taking it, so we will go ahead and play the Knave. That'll allow us next turn to turn on oh, is our opponent running cancel? They are. Okay. Oh, nothing we can do about that. I'd rather get rid of cancel with a 3-drop instead of a removal spell or something we'd rather stick. Essentially the Knave is just a 3/2 for 3, which is fine. Okay, looks like our opponent's going to get a little more defensive here. We're just sending in 2 damage. And okay, so we'll go ahead and Sheltering Light this. We have Pious Interdiction. I think we want to leave that on top. That's our best removal spell. Okay, our opponent's going to get the 3 anyway. Now the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat is a pirate, so we'll probably go ahead and let's see here. So we could Interdiction the Lookout and go ahead and get in for 5. Or we could play the Cutlass and attach that to the Bloodletter and go ahead and send both. I kind of like that. Kind of like that a little bit better for this turn. Go ahead and play the Cutlass. Wait for that to resolve. Kind of a bummer that we can't take advantage of the auto equip, but that's okay. Okay, it looks like we are hitting a little bit of lag here. We'll be back in a second. There we go. Go ahead and switch the Cutlass. We can attack with both of our creatures, so our opponent is not going to block this. Go ahead and get in for 7, put our opponent down to 8. And then we can hold up Interdiction for anything big this turn. They may just have some straight removal. We'll go ahead and take care of the Bloodletter. Okay. So our opponent is straight pirates. I do like black blue pirates. Haven't seen any removal except for Dark Nourishment so far. Okay, so our opponent's getting very defensive. And we go ahead and play the Cutthroat. Alright. So here we could go ahead and Interdiction the Lookout. We can get in for 4, and we'll have our opponent dead next turn unless they have some way to interact with the Bloodletter. If we swing with the Fathom Fleet, it's just going to trade with their Fathom Fleet. And kind of like putting our opponent on a 2-turn clock, especially with only 1 card in hand. So I think that's going to be the play. We're going to go ahead and Interdiction the Lookout. Go ahead and get in for 4. And if our opponent doesn't have a removal spell or another flying creature, we will be able to go ahead and take them out next turn. Okay, so let's see if our opponent has any action. Okay, so our opponent is going to swing for 5 here. Do we want to go ahead and chomp? I don't think so. No, I don't think we want to block here. We'll go ahead and hold back our creature. There's still a chance they could remove our Bloodletter. But I'm going to go ahead and just, we'll take this hit this turn. Let's put us down to 11. Okay, do they have anything after combat? They have a big flyer. No. Okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and move to sideboarding here. Okay, so our opponent is pirates. Let's see here. Legion's Landing wasn't fantastic that game, but I still like to keep that in. That we don't have a lot of creatures, and this is a creature for our deck. Plus, Legion's Landing with cards like Call of the Feast and the Queen's Commission. I like that. Is there anything we want to bring in? Add some 1 toughness guys. We don't have enough dinos really to turn on the first strike ability of the Lancer here. Blightkeeper might be slightly better. just because we only saw one flyer from our opponent, but maybe Schooner's decent this matchup. Had a lot of 2-power creatures. What do we not want to play against our opponent? Let's see here. They're a little faster of a deck. Maybe we just take the parlay out and just try to have a little more action earlier in the game. Yeah, Pirates are definitely a faster deck. I don't think we're going to get to casting this card. So I think we'll just throw the Schooner in, give us something to do with our tokens if they start playing some bigger guys. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, see you back in just a moment. So our opening hand is, we have Legion's Landing again, into Raptor Companion with Vanquish the Weak, Dark Nourishment, we've got 3 land. I like this hand, we're definitely going to go ahead and keep this. And our opponent did mulligan, but we're going to go ahead and keep. This is a good hand, I like it. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have to go down to 5. Alright, excellent. And no Storm Tamer this game, first turn, so we'll go ahead and play the landing. And what have they got here? Secret Squire, that's a good card. Let's see if they're going to hit a land with it or not. No, what do they reveal here? Okay, so they do have some flyers. We've got the Stormfleet Aerials. Opponent's got some pretty good cards in their deck. Hitting our land drops. We're definitely not going to attack. We'll go ahead and play the Raptor Companion and just send this back. Raptor Companion does interact with all their creatures. It's got a good power. Of course, we haven't seen Skullduggery yet, but it's very, very weak against Skullduggery, obviously. Opponent's going to go ahead and attack here. We're not going to block. We'll take the 2. Going to go ahead and play their Aerialist. No, they have the Sailor Means. Okay, so they've got a brick wall up. Okay, hitting a lot of land. So I guess the question is here, do we want to Vanquish the Weak, the Sailor Means, and go ahead and start getting in for some damage? Because as it stands, we're not getting through the Sailor Means anytime soon. A Dark Nourishment does not deal with that. So we could do that. That'll keep our creatures open, do a little damage to our opponent, get a little life back. And the following turn, we'll see what we draw. We could just play Pirates, Cutlass. I think that's what I'm going to do here, just because this Sailor absolutely brick walls us. And we're not really doing anything else this turn except for playing the Cutlass. I'd rather just stay aggressive, keep doing damage to our opponent. There you go. I assume our opponent is going to play the Aerialist this turn. No? Okay. Stormfleet, they're going to go ahead and get some card drawing action going on. A lot of good synergies in our opponent's deck here. Hopefully draw a non-land card. Okay, and there's the Aerialist. See if they hit a land. No. What are they revealing? Oh, excuse me, no, this one doesn't have Explorer. Okay. Alright, so we've got... Let's see here. So we could go ahead and play Pirate's Cutlass, pass the turn. I don't really want to attack into the Stormfleet with the Raptor. At this particular time, the Vampire's just going to get chumped. Or we can play Bishop Soldier and look to activate Legion's Landing next turn with attacking with all. Which will also allow us to attack with all, have Dark Nourishment up, or be able to play and equip the Pirate's Cutlass. I kind of like that. It doesn't maximize our mana for this turn, but I kind of like that better. So I think we're just going to go ahead and play the Soldier and just send it back to our opponent. They have 2 cards in hand, so if they have a piece of removal, then that kind of takes us off this plan, but if we could flip the Legion's Landing, that's going to really give us a lot. A lot of defensive creatures, just going to really turn the tide around, especially with Pirates, Cutlass, and Legion's Landing. That gives us a lot of life. Okay, let's give this back to our opponent. But these Pirates, very, very good. Getting very aggressive here. A lot of flying. If this goes to game 3, we're probably going to put in Cobble Wings against our opponent here. Okay, so they did reveal an island. So at least that one's a little less. And hopefully they'll send the Squire, and they're not sending the Storm Fleet, which is interesting. I guess they want to go ahead and be able to block our Bishop Soldier and punish us for going in on an all attack here. Okay, so do we want to play the Cutlass? And we could put that on the Bishop Soldier. It'll force a double block if they wanted to take that out. He's still just going to trade with Stormfleet Aerialist, which is fine. Or we can Dark Nourish the Stormfleet, attack with all. We're going to lose the Vampire token. They may trade with the Bishop Soldier, and the Siren Lookout may trade with the Raptor Companion. That leaves our opponent with only the Seeker, and we will have Legion's Landing flipped. Be able to put the Cutlass on the following turn. Yeah, I kind of like getting rid of the Aerialist here. The Flyers are definitely going to be hard for us to deal with, so we'll go ahead and take that out. Attack with all. I want to go ahead and flip the landing. Oh, our opponent may have a counterspell here. Okay, well, our opponent had a counterspell, so there's nothing we can do about that. So do we want to attack with everything? If we attack with all, we are going to lose our entire team. The only thing they're going to lose, they're probably going to chump. They'll definitely chump the Raptor with either the Stormfleet or the Lookout. I'm not sure which one. It just depends on what they're prioritizing. They'll let us turn on the landing, but that does not seem like a very good play this turn, so we're going to just hold back. We'll wait. We can equip the Cutlass next turn, put it on the Soldier, and just force them to have to double block. Okay. And again, we're not going to block either of these cards. We're going to go ahead and take the 4. With the Cutlass and our Lifelinkers, I'm not too worried about taking a few hits here and there. See if our opponent has something big to kind of punish us for. No? Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play the Cutlass. And we are going to go ahead and pop it on the Bishop Soldier. And now we are going to go ahead and send the team in. And we do have Slash of Talons. We can go ahead and transform our Legion's Landing and let's see here. So that does cost 3. See what kind of blocks our opponent wants to make. Okay. That's good, actually. That's fantastic. Unless they have a combat trick, we're going to go ahead and kill the Stormfleet with the Slash of Talons. Okay, that worked out very well for us. So we're back in the game here. we've got life. We've cleared out some of their creatures. We're going to be able to start cranking out some tokens this turn. Okay, and our opponent is on the defensive now. They're going to start playing creatures just to get a little more defensive here. So what we can do is we can go ahead and switch the Pirate Cutlass to the Vampire token. And we'll go ahead and attack with that. They're probably going to block with the Storm Tamer. Do we want to send the Raptor Companion? Yeah, I think so. We just need to start clearing out some of these creatures. We'll hold back the Bishop Soldier. We don't really need to send him in. He'll just get jump blocked. So. Okay, as expected. Go ahead and trade there. Now we're going to go ahead and make a token. I'm going to go ahead and play my land. I want to go ahead and just maximize everything we can do here. Go ahead and get the token equipped. Okay, we will be taking that damage, not a problem. Our opponent probably has a raid effect this turn. Okay, yeah, so they're going to loot. Well, don't really understand that. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. What do they end up just losing a card here? Oh, okay, this is a May effect. Okay. Okay, so here we're just going to stay on the same plan. We're going to send the Vampire token in. Keep forcing our opponent to chump, just clearing out their creatures. If we can draw a non-land card, we'll be able to gain a little bit of tempo here. Okay, just need to start drawing some non-land cards, and we're going to be pretty good this game. Okay, opponent's going to explore. They're going to hit a land. And yes, they hit a land, which is good for us. But they continue to draw blockers, so really need to hit a creature. A flyer would be absolutely fantastic. Okay. So stay on the same plan here. Just going to go ahead and send the Vampire token. Our opponent's probably going to chump block this. At some point they may start just taking some of the damage so they can get aggressive. It's probably... No, I guess not. Okay. Okay, just need to hit some action here. Anything non-land. Goodness. All right. I suppose we could have done this at the end of their turn to kind of play around any combat tricks, but oh my goodness. All right, our opponent is putting up a lot of blockers here. Okay. Getting a lot of advantage with that card. This game might slip away from us if we can't draw a non-land card. Ah, there we go. That's good. Okay, so we still can't really attack with the bishop soldier. All we still can do is just go ahead and get in with the token. They're going to block it again with the 1/1 flyer, I'm assuming. Okay, I think they want to get aggressive in the air then. Alright, so here we're going to play Call of the Feast. Go ahead and lay a land. This time we don't, looks like we don't have enough mana to make a token and equip the Cutlass, so we'll just make a token end of turn. Okay. Looks like our opponent just ran out of answers in their deck, I'm going to assume. But there you go. The Legion's Landing, the Pirate Cutlass, is very, very good. Despite us rolling many consecutive land drops there, that we were still able to pull it out. It's really hard to negotiate a 3/1 life link every turn. Okay, well, we will see you guys in the next round. Hello everyone, welcome back. We're in game 2 here. Looks like we've won the die roll. We will be on the play. And we cannot keep this hand. If we had one more land, if we had a plains, or even a swamp, I would keep this hand. Seeker Squire, 1 to Scoundrels would be very, very aggressive, but as it stands, there's no way we can keep this, so we'll go ahead and mulligan. Okay, not a great hand, but we do have 4 lands. We have 1 spell we can cast. Essentially, this is a 5-card hand, but we'll go ahead and keep it. Not a great keep at all, but we do get to scry. So we'll go ahead and keep this. I'm going to scry that to the bottom. Hopefully we can draw some action pretty quick. Any 2 or 3 drops will be good. Okay, so that's a good draw. Very aggressive creature right out of the gate. Pretty hard to deal with on turn 2. Okay, I've not seen someone play with the fire cannon yet. Okay, so let's see here. You can pay 4 and do 2 damage, and you're gonna have to discard a card to untap it. So that's a fine sink at the end of the game there if you're just drawing lands, kind of like we are here. Go ahead and get in. Okay. See what our opponent has. Okay, Daggertooth. Alright, well that shuts down our Scoundrels. Vanquish the Weak would be a fine draw here. Not so much. So I don't want to trade the Scoundrels with the Daggertooth. Our opponent's going to get the life. It's going to shut this down. It's going to ramp them. So I'm just going to go play Call the Feast, pass the turn. Incidentally, Call of the Feast, not great against Ravenous Daggertooth either. Okay, so what is our opponent playing? It's not clear just yet. Okay, they're going to take out a token. Opponent's very defensive right now. Okay, so we can kind of go all in here and play Mark of the Vampire on Wanted Scoundrels. Our opponent will not be able to block and kill it this turn. And just kind of force them to stay untapped if they want to use the fire cannon to take out the Scoundrels at a later time. Doesn't seem like a great card. I'd rather play this on some kind of flyer, but we're not doing anything else right now. I have no idea if we're going to draw any action next turn, so we're going to go ahead and play this. Yeah, that'll give us 5 toughness, so that's what we're going to go ahead and play this turn. Just try to get in for some damage, see if they're just going to chump it. I assume they're just going to take this damage here and try to line up a block with the fire cannon open. Or if they don't have a lot of action in their hand, they might just throw the archer under the bus. Okay, well that's a 12-point life swing there, so I am not going to complain about that. And we're only 1 land off from playing Boneyard Parlay if we can ever get some creatures in either one of the graveyards. Is it time for our opponent to get aggressive yet? No. Okay, so now they have the fire cannon online. And we're just drawing all of the lands. I'm not going to attack here. I'm not sending the scoundrels in to trade with the dagger tooth and get blasted by the fire cannon. That doesn't interest me at all. I'm going to assume our opponent's probably going to start throwing land cards at our tokens, but we're going to go ahead and pass the turn here. Ah, okay. Now that I will trade with, because Boneyard Parlay would just love to get that card under my control. Okay, I forget. Is our opponent going to go? I get 2 treasure tokens. At this point in the game, it doesn't. The treasure tokens don't matter anymore. Our opponent has 6 land. That's a very good card for our opponent. Really would like to draw Vanquish the Weak right now. Or Dark Nourishment. Okay. Opponent's loading up with creatures here. Oh my goodness. Lots of lands. Okay, so if we attack with the scoundrels, they can block with... Well, they're going to have to block with the dagger tooth. Well, not necessarily. They could block with the sailback and the archer. They'll just lose the sailback. It's going to give them a lot of tokens, which now does kind of make a bit more difference. I'd kind of rather 2 for 1 them with the scoundrel, just to put more in the yard for the parlay. So we're going to pass it here. We have no way to interact with their shaper, so this game's going to start to slip away. If we can't draw some action, a flyer would be fantastic. It's also important to note that treasure tokens put our opponent a lot closer to drawing 3 cards off the shorekeeper, which they're going to get to do anyway this game, but lots of land. Okay, flooding out here. Our opponent's probably going to start putting some counters on the sailback so they can position themselves to send him in and not trade with the scoundrel. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, they put one on the dagger tooth. Okay. Okay, we are not favored to win this game any longer. Okay, not a problem. We're going to go ahead and take that here. Okay, Pirate's Cutlass, that's a card. So we can put the Cutlass on the Scoundrels. That makes them an 8/6. Our opponent can block it with the sailback, put a couple counters on it. and just trade right away there. We're going to play the Cutlass. So, opponent also does have the fire cannon open, so they could just block with the sailback and do 2 damage there. Tough decision. Do we attack? Do we try to clear out some creatures and position ourselves to do Boneyard Parlay? Once we lose the Scoundrels, though, we have really not many creatures that can. We have no creatures that can attack anymore. But I don't think it's going to get any better, so we'll go ahead and send the Scoundrels. If we can get them to trade with the Sailback, that'll be fine. They may just block with the Shorekeep. Actually, this is not a sorcery ability. They're going to block with the Shorekeeper, I would assume. Sacrifice it. That'll take us off the life gain, and they're going to get their 3 cards. Or maybe they do just want to get this guy off the board. So I guess they have to decide if they want to use all their mana and put the counters on him, or if they'd rather put a counter on one other creature and use the cannon to go ahead and do the other 2 damage. Or they may have run aground. Okay. I have no tricks. Does our opponent have anything they're going to do? Okay. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and do the damage so they can put a counter on something else. Which this isn't the end of the world. We do get 8 life out of it, so it gives us time to hopefully draw into some answers. They're going to get some tokens. Okay, go ahead and get the Cutlass down, and just send it back to our opponent. The Archer is really kind of brick walling us here. If it wasn't for the Archer, we could certainly just start sending some attacks in when our opponent was tapping out earlier in the game, but now, outside of drawing a flyer or really just going off with the Boneyard Parlay, this is going to be very difficult. Okay. And did our opponent discard a card? Oh, they discarded a second Shorekeeper. Okay. I'm still kind of stuck on our opponent blocking the Shorekeeper and sacrificing. Okay, we're not going to block here. We have life. We can take the damage. Plus, I'm not too keen on our opponent getting any life back. I'm going to go ahead and make it 1 more. Wow. Opponent's got a very good deck. Vine Shaper and Mystic's really, really good. So they're going to get to beef up their Shaper. The Mystic's very big, so we're not getting through on the ground. And we are just drawing more and more land. All we can do is put the counter on the Cutlass on the Vampire, send it back. Only 3. So we can exile up to 5 creatures. The fact there's only 3, I really don't want to play that spell yet. Essentially, we'll get to pick between the Scoundrels and the Shorekeeper or the Sailback is what I'm assuming at this time. opponent's adding some more counters. And our opponent is untapping the cannon, discarding a charted course. I'm going to go ahead and take out our life linker and just start getting in for damage. So they've got 11 damage here. Only sending in 5. I'm very confused. I'm not sure why our opponent isn't attacking with all of their creatures. Being very, very defensive right now. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'll send it back to our opponent. Just see if we can get a little more information about their deck, see if they're going to play any more cards. There's really no way we're going to win this game at this point. Slash of Talons is essentially a dead draw with the Shaper in play. I'm very confused. I don't know if our opponent's playing with us here, but they're showing us more cards, so that's fine. We'll take more information. Probably should have been dead this turn, or pretty close to it. There's really no sense in us playing anything else. See if they want to show us any other cards this turn. They should be able to go ahead and do lethal. I have no idea what our opponent is doing here. I don't know what they're playing around. Yeah. We'll send it back. If we do anything worth playing, if we drew good removal spell or a flying creature, we certainly would go ahead and play that and give this round a go, but just really don't want to give any more information to our opponent. We should be dead on board. I still don't understand why they haven't killed us, but we'll continue to let them show us more cards in their deck if they'd like to. Okay. Yep. Opponent's got a lot of good Merfolk cards. And we didn't draw anything. Nothing worth playing here. We certainly could be playing creatures to block and get defensive, but we're never going to get through their defenses, and I'm still confused why we weren't dead 2 turns ago. I assume our opponent's just wanting to play around with their cards a little bit more, or maybe they're playing around some series of cards they think may be in our hand. I really am not sure. Okay, there you go. So let's see here. Very confusing game. Not exactly sure what our opponent was doing, but that is fine. Here, I may actually put the Blight Keeper in. I feel like we're going to need to get some flyers going. I'm probably going to put in the Cobble Wings. Cards that I'm going to take out. Let's see. What do we not want against our opponent? Let's see here. So we might take out Boneyard Parlay. Put in the Cobble Wings. Slash of Talons didn't seem fantastic that game. Most of their creatures were a little bigger. I think it's good enough. We'll leave it in. What do we want to cut? Blade Keeper is really not amazing, but it's a flyer, and we're just going to have to try to go over our opponent. We could take out Legion's Landing. Since we saw so many high toughness creatures, we're probably not going to get the opportunity with our low toughness creatures here to attack. So I think we'll just take that out. We'll swap it for the Blight Keeper, and we'll send this back. Yes, we will play first. Well, this is basically a blank hand. We can't cast a single spell in our hand. We do have 4 swamps, but we can't cast any of these cards. So keeping this hand, you have no action. We're just going to mulligan this. That's better. If we draw a swamp, we definitely have some drops. We do have a 2-drop. We'll keep this. We get to scry. Excellent. Put this on top. All right, this is a good hand. Let's go ahead and stick the plains. We're going to run out 1 of Scoundrels right away. See if we can get aggressive with 1 of Scoundrels. Raptor Companion. Fathom Fleet might actually be pretty good here too, with the Menace ability, and we start making some pirates with it. Okay, our opponent had no place, not hitting any lands, but that's all right. Send in the Scoundrels, see if they have any tricks. No. So do we want to play the Fathom Fleet, or do we want to maximize our mana and play the Queen's Commission? Queen's Commission is a little weaker against their deck. I think the Fathom Fleet, I think that's good enough to go ahead and play here. If we can get him to start triggering and cranking out, I believe these guys are Menace, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2/2 Menace creatures. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, our opponent's got the Shaper right away. I would love to draw Vanquish of the Weak this turn. Not so much. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to go ahead and attack. If our opponent wants to trade with 1 of Scoundrels, we will 100% trade. So the question is, do we want to get a pirate from the Fathom Fleet or play the Bloodletter? I think I'd rather have the pirate right now and just kind of hold out our drops here, since we are not hitting any land. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's hard to snub a 2/2 Menace. We're getting pretty aggressive. Our opponent may be considering blocking here. This is going to put them down to 10. Okay. Now, if we can draw a land, the Imperial Aerosaur with the 1 in Scoundrels and our 2 Menace creatures, we may be able to swing for the win. No, we'll be able to swing for 5. No, not quite the win, but we'll put them in a real tough situation this turn if we can hit any land. Okay, they're going to make the Shaper a little bit bigger. So I'd absolutely love to hit a land drop here. We still can't block our pirates, however. Okay, no land. Now, since our opponent's playing Merfolk, they do have access to 2 mana right now. I don't want to get hit with Boon, so I think we're going to send the 2 ground pirates. We'll get our 4 in. There's nothing they can do about that. And we're going to go ahead and pay the mana again. Our Menace creatures are really good right now. Our opponent has no blocks. It's going to be pretty difficult for our opponent to come back at this point, just with so many Menace creatures and the fact that when we hit a land, we're going to be able to jump one of our creatures with the Aerosaur. Oh, Death Court Scavenger. Our opponent has a lot of good cards on their deck. I like this card. It's pretty aggressive. Okay. Really need a land drop. Still no land. So again, I'm not going to send the Scoundrels. We'll probably attack with the 2 Menace Pirates here and play the Bloodletter. They'll be able to block 1. Well, let's see. If we swing all, if they're going to have to block the Scoundrels, so they won't be able to block any of the Pirates. If they double block one of the Pirates, they take lethal. So we'll just swing all, see what happens here. They may have a combat trick, but there's really no reason not to go ahead and send everybody in at this point. I'm definitely going to make the Menace Pirate again. Okay, yeah, our opponent didn't have anything, so we got a pretty good aggressive draw there. Our opponent looks like they just weren't hitting any action. The Fathom Fleet captain is, well, pretty good here when you can turn them on several turns in a row, despite not drawing any land, and our hand was pretty loaded here. But anyway, there you go. Okay, so we're going to keep our deck as is. If we had any more removal, we would certainly slide that in, but we'll keep it as is and send it back. Okay, our opponent kept 7. Our opening hand here. Well, we have Vanquish the Weak, which I like against the Shaper. That's the only reason I'm considering this hand, because this is a very slow hand. We're on the draw. I think we're going to go ahead and keep this just because we have Vanquish the Weak. And if our opponent sticks the Shaper, Vanquish the Weak and Dark Nourishment, I should note, when our opponent sticks that card, they're going to take the game away. And that's really the card we're going to lose to. So we'll keep this. Hopefully we'll hit some action. We have 2 draws to hit a 2-drop. Okay, actually that's fine. Over turn 1 play the Blight Keeper. He will probably represent a few points of damage this game, since our opponent hasn't really had too much for flying. Well, there you go. He'll still get in for a couple of points. Okay. No 2-drop, but that's alright. We can still draw a 2-drop next turn. Or 3-drop would be fine as well. I'm actually fine if our opponent plays the Shaper this turn and we can just spend our whole turn destroying it. Not so much. Okay, so here we could play Cobble Wings, but there's really no point in that. I'm going to hold off the mana so we can end a turn Vanquish the Weak. If I play anything worth destroying, hopefully we'll hit a land drop so we can go ahead and put out the Pterodon Knight. Jade Guardian. Well, we're not going to Vanquish the Weak that card. Land, yes. All right. So from here, I think we'll go ahead and send our 1 in. I think from here we're going to go ahead and play the. We could play the Pterodon Knight. And look to put some wings on it the following turn. Yeah, I'd rather play the Pterodon Knight over the Fathom Fleet. There's a chance we may get into a situation where they're going to block the Blight Keeper and we'll be able to play the Fathom Fleet for a little bit more value there. So, Hold of the Feast is really not doing anything against this opponent, but our deck's very light on creature, so our opponent might just be going all in on the Jade Guardian. They might have all the action of the world here. A bunch of pump spells and. Okay, our opponent is playing the Daggertooth. So if they send the Jade Guardian, probably feel a lot better about sending that now, since they have the Daggertooth on the ground. I don't think there's any reason for them not to be more aggressive now. Okay. Yep, so we'll definitely be taking that. Land. Excellent. Okay, so what are our options here? We could play Cobble Wings, put it on the knight, swing for 4. We could Dark Nourish the Daggertooth. Don't care for that at all. We could play the Fathom Fleet, send in the knight and the Blightkeeper. Go ahead and get the Daggertooth off the board. Since our hand has so much removal, Dark Nourishment, and Call to the Feast, I like just getting aggressive here. Just playing the Cobble Wings, go ahead and throwing it on the knight. And just getting in the damage while we can. Okay. See what our opponent plays this turn. We're positioned pretty well. Again, if they get defensive with the Jade Guardian, there's really nothing we can do but send in some Hill Giants and try to just trade. Okay, they're going to get in for the 3, and they're going to get a little more defensive. And we will be fine with taking that. Okay, our opponent's going to loot. Vine Shaper Mystic. So the Jade Guardian's getting big. Okay. So this is going to be really hard for us to win at this point with them kind of pumping the Jade Guardian. We're not going to be able to get through it. Blightkeeper, Pterodon Knight are not going to do anything here. So we could play Call to the Feast. Just get some blockers on the ground. Yeah, I like that. So we'll play Call to the Feast. And just pass it back to our opponent. Yeah, okay. We're going to need them to start attacking with Jade Guardian before we can really do anything. Pirate's Cutlass would be a good draw for us now. Okay. Soon we're going to get our Pterodon Knight tapped down. Yeah. Well, the upside is our opponent is attacking with the Jade Guardian, but not a lot we can do this turn. Let's see what we draw. Okay. All right. So I have access to 7 mana. So what can we do this turn? Well, we can attack with let's see here, Blightkeeper. Well, we're pretty close to actually using the Blightkeeper's ability, so don't want to suicide him. We could just Vanquish the Weak, the Daggertooth, That might be a play we can do here. That'll keep our opponent off the life gain. And then we can throw the Cobble Wings on the Vampire token. Not the best play in the world, that is for sure. We're not getting through on the ground here. I was going to hold out Vanquish the Weak for the Vine Shaper, but let's just Vanquish the Daggertooth. We need to get damage in when we're able to do so. Okay, then we're going to move the Cobble Wings to a Vampire token. And we'll get our 2 damage in, gain a life back. And we'll switch the Cobble Wings back to a Vampire token in case we need to block the Jade Guardian. So what have we got in the yards here? Opponent has Ravenous Daggertooth, Crash the Ramparts, and we have no creatures. Okay. Yeah, Pirate's Cutlass would be really good. Okay, our opponent is always sending in the Jade Guardian. We're just going to go ahead and take that. I'm not in the chump mode just yet. And then we just be turning on the raid again here. Put the wings on the Vine Shaper. That's very good. Okay. So we can effectively put our opponent to 7 right now. I suppose here we can just send in the Vampire token. If our opponent wants to block it, we can blow it out with the Fathom Fleet. They're probably not going to. But that's what we're going to do on this turn. Okay. So our opponent may have a counter spell here. Yeah, so we'll just play the Fathom Fleet. Okay. Then we can put Cobble Wings on a Vampire token as well. So actually this is looking a little bit better for us now. Got a couple 3-power guys. Okay. Well, our opponent's getting aggressive here. I don't think we can afford to go to 4 here. If our opponent has a couple of pump spells, this could be it for us. So we're going to go ahead and block this time. Go ahead and throw a token under the bus. Don't want to get blown out by a series of pump spells, and we know they're running cards like Crash the Ramparts. So if our opponent doesn't play any, okay, well they are playing something. Put the wings on the Water Trap, okay. Mark the Vampire. Well, that certainly changes things a bit. Okay, so we could put Mark of the Vampire on the one of the 3/3s, and then go ahead and throw Cobble Wings on it. Gives us a pretty big creature. I think that's what we're going to do here. Let's go ahead and put this on the Fathom Fleet. Okay. So do we want to give this guy flying so that he can't be double blocked? I think that's probably what we're going to do. That way if our opponent wants to double block him and play some combat tricks, he's not going to have the ability. We will go ahead and send in So if we attack with all, I don't like attacking with all. We're going to go ahead and send the Pterodon Knight and the Fathom Fleet. I want to hold the Blight Keeper because I think it's actually going to be relevant this game, the 4-point life drain. Okay, so our opponent's going to block. Do they have a Crash the Ramparts? Or are they just going to go ahead and jump these guys? They may have a boon? No? Yeah, River Hill's boon. Okay. So they're going to be able to save the Shipwreck Looter, pump their Jade Guardian. Or maybe they have 2 River Hill's boon here. Wow. Okay. Well. There you go. All right, well, River Herald's boon is very, very good. I think I would have personally pumped and kept my flying creature around and just went ahead and lost the looter, but there you go. Nothing we can do about that. All right, our opponent's got all the answers. So right now, with Blight Keeper, we can put our opponent at 7. With Dark Nourishment, we can put our opponent to 4. If they attack, we're definitely going to take this damage. Another Jade Guardian. Wow. They're just going for broke here. Okay, attack for 5. We're going to take that. No problem. I'm going to switch the Cobble Wings. More land. Yeah, there's no attacks we have, so send it back. I need to draw some action. Any action would be great. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this game is definitely slipping away from us now. So we may be casting Dark Nourishment on the Death Gorge at the end of turn just to get that creature off the board. I don't think we need to block here. We can take this again. Okay, end of the turn. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and take out the Death Gorge. Just need to keep their board as clear as possible. Gives us a few life points. One of Scoundrels. Okay, we will definitely play that card. And I have to send it back. Well, the Scoundrels does represent a threat. I don't think our opponent's going to hold back. They've gained some life. And go ahead and send in the 5, switch the Cobble Wings back, jump with the Guardian if they have to. So does our opponent have a Crash the Ramparts or another boon? We can take this, go to 2. I don't think our Vampire is doing anything. I'd rather not risk it. Let's just go ahead and block here. Imperial Aerosaur. Alright, that's good. So I'm going to pay this before combat. And go ahead and pump the scoundrels. Send the scoundrels in. Run a little low on time now. Opponent's going to take that. Then we're going to go ahead and throw. Actually, there's no reason not to put the cobble wings on the scoundrels here. Probably should have done that before, but okay. What's our opponent have? There's some damage. It's going to take out our bat. So if they don't, okay, they're going to go ahead and use the cannon, take out the bat. So give the wings to the guardian. They've elected not to attack this turn. Okay, well, that's fine by me. Go ahead and play the Bloodletter and just send it back. I'm going to assume our opponent's going to discard a card so they can take out the Bloodletter. Yeah, they have a forest. Alright, they're getting some action here. Drawing some more lands. We're still not in a position where we can attack, so we have to send it back. And they're going to take out the Bloodletter. Okay, we still are not going to be attacking. We're going to continue to play our creatures as we draw them. Oh, our opponent does have 8 mana, so they're going to refill their hand. They're going to be able to take out the companion. Perhaps we shouldn't have put the cobble wings on the raptor. Now we're in a situation where I guess our opponent could, they're going to go ahead and kill the raptor, and then they could go ahead and take out of the Aerosaur. And we have no blockers for the flying. But we'll see what they're going to do. Might just be running the clock as well. Looks like that might be the case. Okay, we still have no attacks, so send it back. And we are just going to draw all the lands on our deck. At this pace, our opponent's going to be able to kill us with the fire cannon. They're going to draw 3 cards again. Okay, so our opponent's attacking for 5 here. We could double block this, but then we just have absolutely no way to win. We're going to go ahead and take it. That does put us on a, well, I guess that puts us dead on their turn, but at this point, there's really no way we can win without our creatures. If we can draw something to deal with the archer, we're looking pretty good here. Oh, no. Okay. No, that's it. There's no way to win this game at this point. Our opponent drew way too many cards. Just so much advantage with all of that. Yeah, if we do exactly Pious Interdiction, yeah, even then they still have the Guardian. So no, there's really no way to dig out of this, and we're just completely flooded. So there you go. Looks like our opponent got that round. So we'll go ahead and concede. Whoop. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are in our third and final round of our Ixalan draft. Our opponent has won the die roll. Let's see here. So this hand is fine. We will keep this hand. No 2 drops, but we still have our 3 and 4 drop, and Heartless Pillage might actually be useful this round. We never know. But we'll keep this. Got a good 3 drop. Got a Hill Giant for right now. What if we draw any dinos? This will be a good flyer. Okay. See what we draw here. A little more land action. That's fine. Alright, opponent's on forest now. Okay, and we're flooding out a little bit here. That's alright. Okay, so our opponent's blue-green. Let's see if we're going to be playing against Merfolk or... Okay, Daring Saboteur. Sky March, Bloodletter. Okay, so do we want to go ahead and play the Ruthless Knave? Or should we go ahead and drop the Bloodletter? If we play the Knave, we're not going to be blocking the Saboteur, although it does present more damage on the ground, which might discourage our opponent from attacking. And the Bloodletter is just a sure thing in the air. Yeah, I think it's the same either way. Let's just go ahead and play the Knave. Maybe we can draw something decent this turn. We could always attack. Heartless Pillage. Okay. Fine Shaper Mystic, such a good card. But that's not doing too terribly much here in terms of the Saboteur, thank goodness. I assume our opponent's going to get in for 2. Of course, we're going to go ahead and take that. Okay, we are drawing no action here. Well, so we can either play the Pterodon Knight to try and have a blocker for these guys, discourage our opponent from sending the Saboteur in, because I'm not ready to trade the Knave just yet, or we can play the Bloodletter again and start getting some damage in the air. I think we're just going to play the Knight, because we play the Bloodletter, we're still probably not going to block here. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we need to block just to get our opponent off the looting. Maybe that's still just fine, but I'm still going to play the Knight just to maximize our mana. No attacks. Okay. All right, let's see what our opponent has here. If we could stay off the land draws, I think we'll be okay. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Assuming our opponent, yeah, they're going to go ahead and tap out, so they can go ahead and get their damage in, get their loot effect. And what is our opponent going to discard here? A forest. Okay. We are just absolutely flooding. So I think this turn, probably go ahead and attack with the Pterodon Knight. See if we can get a few points of damage in. Our opponent may not block. We're playing black. Okay. And now we can go ahead and Heartless Pillage them, go ahead and take out some of their action in their hand and play the Bloodletter as well. So, really not much else we can do here. Might as well take out some cards in their hand, hopefully get a couple non-land spells just to slow them down a bit. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and play the Bloodletter. And this will also give us a valid attacker, so we can start getting in for some damage next turn. And let's just not hit any more lands. No more lands. We're good. Our opponent's going to continue to send the Saboteur in, however, so they're going to be able to really tweak their hand. Maybe the play was to go ahead and block this this guy that first turn when our opponent offered the trade. But there's really not much we can do about it now. We'll move forward. Okay, our opponent's going to attack with both. Of course, we're not going to block here. Opponent's going to get to loot. And looks like they're discarding Overflowing Insight. Well, that's interesting. So I guess our opponent assumes they're going to go ahead and end this game a little faster. I probably would have held on to that, especially on 5 land with the looter going nonstop. But I don't know what else is on our opponent's hand. And we are just absolutely flooding here. So we can swing for 5, put our opponent to 11. They're going to swing back, put us to 9. I'm not going to hold back. There's really no point. So we're just going to go ahead and get in for our damage here. Really no point not to attack. We're only a couple points away from the same life total as our opponent. Cards, really need to just draw a piece of removal here. Yep, nothing we can do about that. Go ahead and take this. Our opponent just continues to get to loot, make their hand better. Discarding a Diviner. And a Sailor Remains, so now our ground play is shut down. Okay, what are we drawing? Or does our opponent have more plays? Looks like not this turn. Okay. Oh, this game is slipping away quickly. We'll send the Bloodletter in. Try to keep up with the 2-point swing our opponent's exchanging with us. And that is it. Drawn 10 of our 17 lands, so... And... Okay, well, nothing we can do about that. Our opponent's going to get in for 5, put us to 4. Now we have 2 additional turns in best case scenario with the Saboteur just being able to continually become unblockable. So yeah, that's probably definitely a misplay not to block the Saboteur. Our opponent would have taken out the Bloodletter with the Pounce, but we still would have had the Pterodon Knight, and we'd probably be in a much better position right now. Yeah, that's probably going to be it. Let's see if we can draw something this turn, though. And more land. Okay, so we play 2 blockers. We don't necessarily die this turn. Of course, we can't attack. Really not giving away any more information to our opponent. They already knew we had the Skyletter, or Skymarsh Bloodletter. Okay, so that puts us to 2. Okay, yeah, there's really no point in our opponent sending anything else in. They've got us dead on board next turn. And our opponent discards some more land. And we drew more land. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to sideboarding here. That was unfortunate. What do we want to get to our opponent? Legion's Judgment doesn't really do anything here. Didn't see anything that can target. Lightkeeper is not really worth using. Costly Plunder doesn't really do too much here. We could put in maybe something a little bit bigger. They did have some They did have the some early drops which represent four toughness. Maybe the Sleek Schooner's okay. Maybe it's good enough to get in the deck. Just try to push through some damage since they were kind of blocking up the ground. What do we want to take out here? Maybe we want to take out the parlay. Yeah, we're going to be on the play. Let's take out the parlay. We'll throw in the schooner just to have something with a little more aggression that we can sort of utilize these smaller creatures we have or the tokens to try to get through some of that bigger toughness. So that's what we'll go ahead and sideboard in. Don't think we want anything else really. Sunrise Seeker's got a little bit more body, but maybe it's better than Pterodon Knight, just since it is 4 power. Yeah, why not? I just don't want to get stuck on the ground again with our 3 power creatures, and this does represent being a 4 power. So, okay, this is our deck. Let's try this again. We'll definitely be playing first. And this hand is pretty good. We got Legion's Landing on turn 1. Mulligan to 6 cards. We are definitely going to keep. Then we got the Fathom Fleet. After that, this guy can really take a game away from someone. But yeah, this is a good hand. Slash the Talons. We got a little action for removal there. Got the Bloodletter. We just need to hit a land drop in the next 2 turns. Excellent. Okay. So we'll go ahead and send our 1 in. Okay, get the Fathom Fleet out. And if our opponent durdles a little bit, we might actually be able to... Okay. Opponent's going to go ahead and opt. Okay. We may actually be able to turn on the Legion's Landing, which really can take control of the game. Especially if we draw a piece of equipment or get flooded. Alright, so okay, good. We draw a piece of Pious Interdiction. That's actually a pretty good draw there. Here we do need another pirate before we can turn this on, so we're not turning that on right now. So we'll go ahead and send in our 3. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and play the Bloodletter. This will let us turn Legion's Landing on next turn, especially if our opponent doesn't have a 3-drop. Which is, wow. Okay. Oh, that's very good. Okay, well, unfortunately, Pious Interdiction really doesn't do much of anything at that guy. Of course, he is a 3-drop. They're not exactly going to run away with the game at this point. Land. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to send everything. There's really no reason not to. We can, no matter how he blocks this, we're going to benefit. We're going to be able to turn on the Legion's Landing, or we're going to be able to slash the Talons it. Or if he just chumps with the Vampire, we'll probably just play Fathom Fleet here. I'm going to send everybody. Excellent. This also does actually present an extra bit of mana this turn. I doubt our opponent will block. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. We can go ahead and get out of this with a Slash of Talons, so go ahead and utilize that. That is perfectly acceptable here. That is actually really, really good for us. And now, even though we can't do anything fancy with the Fathom Fleet, we're going to go ahead and just play this. It is a Hill Giant, and that's fine. We need to go ahead and stay aggressive here with Pious Interdiction on board, and I believe the Fathom Fleet, yeah, he's a pirate, so we're going to be able to start cranking out all kinds of tokens with this deck now. Okay. All right. See what we draw here. Land. All right, so it takes 1, 2, 3, and the Adanto, so we can make the Vampire token. We also still have 2 open, so we can also activate the Fathom Fleet. So yeah, we're just going to send everything again here. I think it's going to be a little difficult for our opponent to kind of pull out of this game now. We're pretty far ahead here. Okay, we're definitely going to go ahead and make a pirate. Okay, see if our opponent has any blocks. They want to block the Fathom Fleet. Okay, they're going to go to 4. And I don't think there's a lot of cards that can get our opponent back in this game. I guess they could cast the big 6-drop there, or the big, no, okay. I forget the name of the card, but the blue spell that returns all non-land permanents to the controller's hand, so that would have been a pretty good way to kind of pull the game back. Alright, so we'll go ahead and look at our sideboard again here. I feel like this is probably still fine. There's really no reason to change anything up, so we're just going to submit the deck again and see if we can go ahead and finish this last game. Okay, let's see here. So we have a couple of good 2-drops. We have a piece of removal. We have the Schooner, which is fine if our Seeker Squire fails, and Sheltering Light, a little bit of interaction. This is a key. If we can hit a land on our first 2 turns. Okay, our opponent's going to get a little aggressive here on us. Dark Nourishment, that's fine. So this turn coming up, we'll probably play the Seeker Squire. See if we can go ahead and get that up to a 2-3, which would be good for us here. Kind of shut down their speaker. And our opponent does not have a follow-up. Okay, we're not hitting the lands, but that's all right. Definitely play the Seeker Squire. And actually, we're fine if we draw a land here or if it gets pumped. Wanted Scoundrels. That is good, but we're just going to go ahead and discard this. We really need to go ahead and start getting our lands. Yeah, I just don't think there's no way we can afford not to draw a land for another turn. Okay, so let's just send this back to our opponent. We got a good hand here. I mean, we got a lot of removal. We've got Sheltering Light. The Schooner is probably going to be okay as well. Raptor Companion is fine. A lot of cheap creatures. We just need to start hitting some land drops. Okay. Honestly, if we don't hit a land on this turn, that is fine by me. It'll sort of increase our chances of hitting a land drop. Okay, we did hit our land. So, what options do we have? We can play the Squire again, hold up Slash of Talons, or Sheltering Light. That seems fine to me. See if we can hit a land, and that's actually just fine as well. Go ahead and get those lands pulled out. So here we'll probably just slash the speaker if our opponent doesn't have any other action before they play anything to sort of pump this guy. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. But it certainly is going to be a little tougher to play this game now. Vineshaper Mystic is just such a beating. So do we want to block here and go ahead and slash the Talons? Because on our turn we're probably going to be playing could just take this 3 and play the Schooner, start chumping, and we could leave open Sheltering Light and Slash of Talons, either one. I think we'll just take this again. I don't really want to get 2 for 1. Okay. So let's draw a non-land card this turn. That is a card. Okay. So let's see. We can play Schooner. And we'd be able to crew the Schooner with the Seeker, jump block the Speaker, and Sheltering Light the Schooner. That seems fine. We can play Call the Feast, and then all we're going to do is be in chump mode. We don't have any equipments to put on them, so we could chump block the Speaker, gain a little bit of life. If our opponent has any combat tricks, we get blown out. I kind of like just playing the Schooner here. It'll represent a blocker. And then with the Sheltering Light, we can hopefully take our opponent off their 3 power creature and you get the scry out of it and maybe set up something up for next turn. Oh, opponent has a little action at the end of the turn. Are they going to pounce? And that is why you don't F4. That's brutal. Okay. Well, we'll be taking a lot of damage now because of that play. Now we're very far behind. Does our opponent have any more plays? No, that's good for us at least. Okay, so here we could play Raptor Companion and then hold up Vanquish the Weak. I do like that. That'll give us a blocker for the Speaker, and then we could vanquish the Vine Shaper, or we could chump the Vine Shaper with the Schooner. So we will F3 and send it back to our opponent. Okay. So I think I'll just go ahead and offer the trade with the Raptor here. That seems fine. Or do we want to go ahead and block the Vine Shaper? Let's offer the trade. Let's see if our opponent is going to play a boon, and then we could respond by vanquishing the Vine Shaper. Or we could respond by vanquishing. Maybe we should. This is a tough one. Okay, let's just offer the trade here. Whoop. I'm going to assume our opponent has a boon, but we'll see. Just going to bounce the creature. That's not the worst. So we'll just go ahead and vanquish the Vine Shaper. Okay. So they don't get any damage through this turn. So if we draw a land this turn, that'll be pretty, okay, good. All right, I think we're looking a little bit better now. We can go ahead and play Call of the Feast. We got plenty of tokens to put on the Schooner. We got the Raptor. We're looking a lot better now. So we will pass it back to our opponent. Plenty of tokens for the Schooner. That's a good thing. I still offer a trade for the companion for the Speaker. Looks like our opponent's going to draw 7 cards, and that is really not good for us. We do still have some good removal spell in our hands, so there's always a chance our opponent just hits a lot of land. So here, I think we're going to turn the Schooner on, go ahead and attack. Okay. I think we'll attack with all, because we're going to gain a little bit of life here. And if he wants to do any blocks, we've got Slash Ixalan, Sheltering Light. At this point, our opponent drawing 7 cards, we need to get every single point of damage we can get in. Okay, that actually worked out just fine. See what our opponent has. Let's see what refilling their entire hand has done to us. Boy. Alright, so our opponent is playing a 6/6. So the Tishana, Voice of Thunder. So they're going to get to draw a card. They're going to have a really big dude. That is a big guy. So now we're going to have to start leaving back a couple of blockers here. What do we need? We need Pious Interdiction. That would be good for us. Ruthless Knave is not terrible. I mean, creature's a creature. Let's see here. So we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 mana. So we could potentially attack with the Schooner and the Raptor Companion. And if they block either one of those, we can go ahead and Dark Nourish and Slash the Talons with Tishana. We also could attack with all. Our opponent will definitely chump. That seems much, much worse. Let's see here. How do we win this game? Our opponent just has so many cards in hand. We have to leave 2 vampires back. Our opponent just has so many spells at their disposal, bounce spells and pounce and things of that nature. If we can get the Tishana off the board, yeah, there's really nothing else we can do. There's no other card we can really draw at this point. Okay, well, let's make a decision here. Yeah, we just have to get rid of that creature. Let's go ahead and send in our Schooner and the Raptor. And we did not go with the Schooner. Okay, well, Raptor it is. If our opponent wants to trade with either creature, we are completely fine. Okay, well, if that's the case, I think we'll just Sheltering Light here. Get one of their guys off the board. And we get to scry 1, so we can get a little bit closer to Pious Interdiction. Bishop Soldier is not going to do it, so we'll put that at the bottom. Okay. Well, all the vampire tokens are going to help us out pretty well here. We have chumps for days. Let's go ahead and play the Ruthless Knave. And just send it back to our opponent. Definite misplay on our behalf there. Not crewing the Schooner before attacks, so but we will move forward. So our opponent have another. Okay, well, our opponent has all the mana in the world. Okay. Well, if it wasn't big enough before. Well, our opponent isn't attacking. That's interesting. Okay, more land. I don't see the point in attacking here, so we're just going to send it back to our opponent. I guess effectively we have them at 8 with Dark Nourish. We could draw a flyer. We'll try to keep the Raptor around. If we do draw our Pterodon Knight, that's certainly a threat. Legion's Landing wouldn't be terrible here. Okay. Well, we'll be probably slash a Talonzine this guy. Let's see if our opponent's going to sit back and just try to start picking away at us with the flyer. So they're going to get a little more aggressive. If that's the case, they probably should have done that last turn. Just send in the voice. Maybe they're worried about us double blocking it. Yeah, we're not getting through on the ground. We're going to have to draw a flyer here. Okay, our opponent revealed a forest. All good for them. It keeps their voice really big. So no land, no land. Okay, no, that's a good card. That's a good draw. So we could send the knave. They can trade with the Prosperous Pirates. No, I think we'll just hold back for now. Our opponent's playing a lot of threats. We don't want to get blown out here. Okay, what have they got this turn? And there it is. Okay. That is probably going to get Dark Nourished. So our opponent's going to send in for 2. There's nothing we can do about that. Hopefully they'll put some counters on it. They are not. Okay. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do here against the Shaper. Let's see what we draw. Fathom Fleet. Definitely going to play this guy. We still just don't have any attacks. They've got too much on the ground. So let's just move to the end of the turn, see if our opponent places some counters in some places that will allow us to Dark Nourish and kind of take out the Shaper. Of course, if they place a counter on the Shaper first, there's really nothing we can do. Okay, you're going to put the counter on the Apprentice. Hopefully they'll target the second counter onto the Shaper itself. No, there's nothing we could do there. They must know we have something. Wow. Okay, so what's Jace going to do here? Our opponent's going to get to draw a whole lot of cards. Okay, well, haven't seen Jace in the draft yet, so that's fun. Our opponent has a very good deck. Got a lot of mythics, good uncommons. And there's just nothing we can do about that. Saboteur. Yeah, it's just with the Shaper, there's just not much we can do here. Our opponent has access to 7 mana, so if we try to kill the Shaper with Dark Nourish, they are going to just put a counter on it. We can kill the Apprentice, the Shaper Apprentice, with Dark Nourishment. Our opponent wouldn't be able to save that. Probably what we have to do at the end of turn here. Yeah, otherwise we're not going to be able to cast any spells we draw because we'll be holding this. So, okay, we'll go ahead and take out this guy. It's the only way we're going to live another turn. Maybe we'll see a Pious Interdiction, or yeah, I think that's really it. Our deck that we unfortunately didn't have a lot of. Oh, okay. Our opponent's going to go ahead and eat a counter off of him, draw a card. Of course, we're still going to die to the Saboteur, but okay. Still just not much we can do here. Can switch the Cutlass over to a Vampire. Go ahead and get attacks in, try to gain a little bit of life. Anything our opponent blocks with, we can slash Talons. I suppose we could attack Jace. I don't think the game's going to go long enough to matter here. Well, we can slash the Talons this guy at least. Yeah, I don't think there's really any way we're going to get through this particular game here. But we'll go ahead and slash. Okay. Yeah, so it did matter. We weren't going to be able to get rid of the Saboteur and the Flyer. Our opponent had combat tricks. Now our opponent's going to... well, actually there's a very distinct possibility that if our opponent plays this card again, they might just deck themselves. I'm going to put the Cutlass on a Vampire. If our opponent tries to go all in with attacks, we can gain some life points. Well, maybe they will play the Voice and go to 3 cards. I doubt it at this point. Okay, Jace. So next turn they get to make a few Jaces. Well, they're going to play the Voice. Well, our opponent needs to beat us in the next 3 turns. Don't know if I agree with playing the Voice there. Although I suppose they can just go all in on the Saboteur. And no attacks? Why didn't they attack with the Saboteur? We have no cards in hand. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh, Bloodletter. That's good. So we'll play the Bloodletter. Get us a point of life here. So do we want to go ahead and send the Vampire token? Our opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4. The Voice is just absolutely enormous. So they attack with the Voice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count the Schooner. We have 6 blockers. We can block most of these guys fairly favorably. I suppose we can go ahead and attack with the Fathom Fleet to make a token, but they're just going to double block it with 2 big guys, so there's really not a lot of sense in that. Do we send the Vampire in to get the life? No, I suppose not. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the play right now. We need to just keep our defenders up, especially with our opponent having so many cards in hand. Who knows how many bounce spells they may have, or pounce spells. All right. Well, our opponent's going to buff the Saboteur. Next turn we probably will have to attack with the Vampire. Token to get the life. Alternatively, well, no, it's not going to matter. We're in full defense mode now at this point. Either our opponent's going to deck themselves or they're not. If we have 2 more turns, it would be worth equipping the Bloodletter with the Cutlass and attacking. Maybe we'll draw our enchantment so we can get a little extra damage in, but oh. So our opponent's got 5, 6, 7 damage this turn with the Saboteur. Perhaps we should have attacked with the Vampire. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to win this one now. Well, we still could draw a Pious Interdiction. Opponent's making all kinds of Jaces. Okay. Yeah. No, it was close. It was a close game. Perhaps we should have attacked with the Vampire. That would have put us at 15. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. Our opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. We'll be taking 5, 6, 7 this turn. That would have put us to 9. Then we could have swung again with the Vampire. Put ourselves to 12. No, our opponent still would have had enough counters. We still have to draw exactly Pious Interdiction here. Oh, our opponent's going all in now. And there's really nothing we can do about this. Well, our opponent activated the Saboteur's ability, so all we have to do is live through this attack. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and crew up the... No, we need to block with the Vampire here. Okay, so we'll block Vampire here. Oh, goodness. Okay, so 3-point Vampire is going to go here. We have the Raptor Companion. I'm assuming that our opponent has some kind of pump spell, but we'll block as much as we can. Let's see here. We'll just maximize the amount of damage we're blocking. Lifelinker is going to go here. I don't know. We'll double block the Prosperous Pirates. No, there's really no point in that. We need to soak up trample damage, if anything, so let's see here. Block the Raptor Companion here. Bloodletter we'll just throw in front of the Diviner. Just try to soak up as much trample damage as possible. Fathom Fleet can go here. And I suppose we just put the Ruthless Knave at the Wayfarer, because again, all we have to do is survive the turn, and we will win. So our opponent's going to do 5, 6, 7. They'll be able to do 7 damage there. Honestly, if they have any card that does trample damage, we're out of this. So maybe we should take the Bloodletter out. No, I don't think it matters. But we'll put it here. I don't think it really matters. We probably should have activated the Schooner just to soak up more trample damage. Let's see if our opponent has the trample card or not. I'm gonna assume they do. They've got pretty much their entire deck in their hand. Yeah. Okay. I'll use the Shaper. I'm very confused. I thought for sure our opponent had some sort of combat trick there. Does it crash the ramparts? So it looks like we just need to pass the turn here, right? There's nothing else we can do. Our opponent goes to the draw step and loses. Very confusing. I'm not sure what our opponent's game was there. I'm not sure whether he kept drawing cards with the Saboteur. I think I think we really should have lost that game. But there you go. Again, yeah, we definitely should have lost that game. Really just completely confused about what our opponent was doing. Their deck was much stronger, had a lot more synergies, so much card drawing action there, with the Merfolk synergy and a lot of good. They had Jace the Planeswalker, which was interesting to see him kind of do his thing there and start duplicating, making illusions. But anyway, there you guys go. Sometimes you win these games even if you didn't intend to. But hope you guys watched. I enjoyed watching the games. Even if this deck was a little weaker. If you did enjoy watching, hit the like button. Let me know you enjoyed it. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Try to get new videos up every day. And if you have any comments, anything you want to share about the match, anything you think I did right, anything you think I did wrong, feel free to drop those down in the comment section. And we will see you all in our next Ixalan draft. Have a great day.